Ethan stepped off the small shuttle onto the dusty ground of the distant planet. He looked around at the strange landscape. Tall rocks and bright minerals shone under the sun. Ethan had come here to explore and to find the human colony that was rumored to exist far from known space. He adjusted his pack and began walking toward the colony in the distance. As he approached the settlement, Ethan saw buildings made of metal and glass. Humans moved around carrying supplies and talking in calm voices. The colony looked peaceful. Ethan felt a mix of relief and curiosity. He wondered how humans had survived so far from Earth without help. He noticed a figure walking toward him. It was a young woman. Her long brown hair glowed in the sun, and her eyes held a soft, kind light. Ethan felt a sudden pull of interest. She introduced herself as Claire, the leader of the colony. Her voice was calm and welcoming. She smiled as she spoke and offered to show Ethan around. Ethan followed Claire through the streets. Children played near small gardens, and workers carried tools and food. Everything seemed calm and organized. Claire explained how the colony grew food, maintained energy, and kept the people safe. Ethan listened and asked questions, impressed by the system they had built, could not ignore the sense of power that Claire carried. Even though she looked innocent and kind, there was something in the way she moved and spoke that told Ethan she could handle anything. When she gave instructions, people listened immediately without question. Ethan felt both respect and curiosity for her. They reached a large building at the center of the colony. Claire told Ethan it was the council hall. Leaders of the colony met here to discuss important matters. She invited him inside. The room was wide, filled with light and strong furniture. Ethan noticed symbols and devices he had never seen before. He realized the colony had more technology than he had expected. Claire explained the rules of the colony. Everything was carefully planned to keep people safe. Ethan admired her clear thinking and intelligence. He asked her questions about past challenges and how she had handled them. Claire answered with calm confidence. Ethan could see she was not only smart but brave and capable. While they walked back outside, Ethan noticed guards standing near the buildings. They were strong and alert. Claire acknowledged them but did not seem afraid. Ethan understood that she had earned the respect and loyalty of the people around her. As the sun began to set, Ethan found a quiet spot to rest. He thought about Claire and the colony. At first, he had believed she was only innocent and gentle. Now he saw another side. She was a leader, someone who could make tough decisions and handle danger without hesitation. Ethan realized he wanted to learn more about her and the colony. That night, Ethan stayed in the small guest quarters provided by Claire. He looked out the window at the lights of the colony below. He felt both excitement and caution. The planet was beautiful, but he knew he had much to discover. He remembered Claire's calm eyes and her quiet strength. He knew stepping into this colony would change everything he thought he knew. The next morning, Ethan woke to the soft light of the planet. He stepped outside and saw Claire walking among the colony buildings. She greeted people, gave directions, and checked on workers. Ethan noticed how naturally she commanded attention. Even in simple conversation, her words carried weight. Claire invited Ethan to see the training area. He followed her through wide paths lined with gardens. As they walked, Ethan asked her about the guards. She explained they were trained from a young age, and their loyalty was earned through respect and care. Ethan watched as a group of young adults practiced combat and survival skills. They moved with precision and focus. He felt a mix of admiration and concern. Claire smiled at him and said the colony needed strong leaders to survive in such a harsh place. Ethan realized she was teaching the next generation, shaping them to protect and serve the community. He could see the seriousness behind her gentle expression. They entered a large building filled with machines and glowing panels. Claire explained it was the control center. She showed Ethan how energy, food, and security systems were monitored. Ethan was amazed at the level of organization. He had not expected humans to develop such advanced systems on a distant planet. As they moved through the building, a small alarm sounded. One of the energy panels had a problem. Claire acted quickly. She gave instructions to the team, and they moved with speed and precision. Ethan watched her handle the situation calmly. He was surprised by her focus and decisiveness. She did not panic. She did not hesitate. The problem was fixed efficiently. After the incident, Ethan asked how often emergencies happened. Claire explained that the planet was unpredictable. They had to be ready for anything. Ethan felt respect for her intelligence and courage. He realized that her innocence he had first seen was only a surface. Beneath it was strength, knowledge, and experience. Claire then took Ethan to the palace. It was larger and more secure than the other buildings. He noticed guards at every corner, but they did not act tense. They simply waited, ready to follow her orders. Inside, Ethan saw rooms filled with documents, maps, and artifacts. Claire explained that she studied the planet's history and the colony's challenges every day. She prepared for every possible problem. Ethan felt a growing sense of awe. He had never met anyone like Claire before. She was kind, intelligent, and brave. She carried herself with a quiet confidence that drew people to her. Ethan began to understand that her innocence was part of a larger plan. She needed to appear gentle while being strong and prepared. As the day ended, Claire invited Ethan to walk with her through the gardens. The sun set over the rocks and minerals, casting golden light across the colony. Ethan felt a mix of peace and excitement. He knew there was much more to discover about this place and about Claire. She had shown him a glimpse of her power and wisdom, but he sensed that the full depth of her abilities was still hidden. That night, Ethan returned to his quarters. He reflected on the day's events. He had seen Claire's strength and leadership. He had seen the loyalty of the people around her. He understood that the queen he thought was innocent was far more capable than he had imagined. Ethan felt a strong pull to learn more and to be part of the colony's story. The following morning, Ethan woke early and found Claire waiting for him at the entrance to the palace. She smiled and said she wanted to show him something special about the colony. Ethan felt a mix of excitement and caution as he followed her down winding paths lined with strange plants and glowing stones. He wondered what she had planned. Claire led him to a large building at the edge of the colony. It was taller than the others and had walls filled with windows. She explained that this was a private area where she kept the most important work and plans of the colony. Ethan noticed the guards at the entrance. They did not speak, but their eyes followed every move he made. Ethan realized he was entering a place few outsiders ever saw. Inside, the building was filled with light and quiet hums of machines. There were rooms with screens showing maps, energy flows, and communication lines. Ethan could see how carefully Claire managed every aspect of the colony. She explained the functions of each room and how the systems worked together to keep everyone safe and productive. As they walked through the building, Ethan asked about the security measures. Claire replied that the colony faced many dangers, and that being prepared was the only way to survive. She told him stories of past emergencies, where careful planning had saved lives. Ethan listened, impressed by her foresight and leadership. Claire then led him to a training hall. Inside, humans practiced combat, strategy, and emergency drills. Ethan saw that every movement was precise, every action planned. Claire explained that she personally oversaw the training. She wanted everyone to be ready to protect themselves and the colony. Ethan began to understand that her innocence was part of a carefully designed image. It hid a strategic mind and strong leadership. They paused at the center of the hall. Claire turned to Ethan and spoke about trust. She said she invited him here because she wanted him to see the truth about the colony and the people. Ethan realized that she was testing him, gauging his reaction to the full reality of life here. He felt both honored and nervous. As they left the training hall, a sudden alarm sounded. Small energy fluctuation had been detected. Ethan watched as Claire immediately gave instructions. Guards and workers moved with precision under her command. She stayed calm and focused, guiding everyone efficiently. Ethan was struck by her ability to manage pressure without hesitation. After the situation was resolved, Claire and Ethan walked through the gardens. The sun cast a warm glow over the colony. Ethan felt a mix of relief and admiration. He saw that Claire balanced her role as a leader with care for the people. She was far more capable and strong than her innocent appearance had suggested. As evening fell, Ethan returned to his quarters and thought about the day. He realized that stepping inside Claire's private area had changed everything he believed about her. She was intelligent, brave, and strategic. She had created a peaceful, productive colony while keeping herself prepared for any challenge. Ethan understood that he was seeing only the beginning of her true abilities and influence. He knew that the days ahead would reveal even more of her depth and power. Early in the morning, Ethan was walking near the training grounds when a sudden alarm rang through the colony. Claire appeared quickly, her eyes sharp and focused. She called out commands and guards and workers rushed to their positions. Ethan followed her, ready to help, feeling the tension in the air. The source of the alarm was a malfunction in the colony's energy shield. A portion of the outer perimeter was losing power. Ethan watched as Claire directed teams to stabilize the systems. She moved with confidence and clarity, her calm voice cutting through the noise of urgency. Every decision she made was precise and efficient. Ethan noticed how people obeyed her commands without question. They trusted her completely. Even in this high-pressure situation, Claire remained composed. Ethan realized that her earlier appearance of innocence was a carefully controlled mask. She was strong, commanding, and fully aware of the dangers that surrounded the colony. As the teams worked, Ethan joined a group trying to repair the shield. Claire approached him and gave clear instructions. Her understanding of the systems amazed him. She anticipated potential failures and directed the team to prevent them. Ethan felt a mix of admiration and awe. He had never seen a human handle such pressure with such skill. After tense moments, the shield stabilized. Ethan and the team took a breath, feeling relief. Claire stood at the center, observing the repaired system. Her expression was calm, but determined. Ethan realized that her leadership was not just about giving orders. It was about planning, foresight, and the ability to act decisively when needed. Claire then gathered the colony leaders to discuss future improvements. Ethan observed her listening carefully, asking questions and making strategic suggestions. She balanced the needs of the colony with practical solutions. Ethan could see that she cared deeply for the people, but never let emotions interfere with critical decisions. Later, Ethan and Claire walked through the gardens. The sun was low, casting long shadows across the paths. Ethan spoke about his impressions. He admitted he had thought she was only innocent, gentle, and soft. Claire smiled and said that leadership often required appearing calm and harmless, while carrying the weight of responsibility. Ethan felt a new respect for her. He understood that her outward innocence had allowed her to protect the colony quietly. Beneath that appearance was a mind that could strategize, a body trained for action, and a heart strong enough to bear the burdens of leadership. That night, Ethan sat in his quarters, reflecting on the events. He realized that stepping into the daily life of the colony had shown him a side of Claire that few outsiders ever saw. She was far more capable than he had imagined. He understood that surviving on this planet required intelligence, strength, and courage, all of which Claire possessed in abundance. Ethan felt a sense of purpose. He wanted to help the colony and work with Claire. He knew that the challenges ahead would test him, but he also knew that under Claire's leadership, humans could achieve incredible things. He understood that the innocence he had first seen was only the beginning of her story. And the real queen of the colony was much stronger and more extraordinary than anyone could guess. Ethan woke to another bright morning on the planet, felt a mix of curiosity and anticipation. Today, he decided to explore the palace further. Claire was already waiting for him near the main hall. She greeted him with a calm smile and told him she wanted to show him the archives. The archives were a large room filled with shelves, boxes, and screens. Ethan noticed records of past events, maps, and documents detailing the colony's history. Claire explained that she studied these materials to understand challenges and plan solutions. She wanted to prepare for any problem the colony could face. Ethan walked through the rows of records, amazed at the level of detail. Claire told him about previous crises, how she solved them, and how the colony survived. Ethan realized that her innocence had been only a part of her image. Behind it was a careful, strategic mind. She had learned to protect the colony, while keeping outsiders unaware of her true capabilities. Claire then showed Ethan personal records of her training. She had learned combat, strategy, and leadership from a young age. Ethan read about exercises, simulations, and difficult decisions she had faced. He felt both respect and awe. He understood that her gentle demeanor was a mask that hid a capable and strong leader. As they walked through the palace, Ethan asked Claire why she had never revealed her abilities to outsiders. She explained that appearing innocent kept people from underestimating her, allowed her to act when needed, without drawing unnecessary attention. Ethan nodded, realizing how wise and deliberate her choices were. Claire invited Ethan to see the planning room. It was filled with maps, screens, and models of the colony. She showed him how she calculated risks and developed strategies for every situation. Ethan watched as she analyzed potential threats, designed defenses, and prepared plans for growth. He felt that stepping inside her world had revealed a side of her that few people could imagine. Ethan asked her if she ever felt alone in carrying such responsibility. Claire looked at him and said she did, but she also felt proud. She knew she had the ability to lead and protect her people. Ethan felt admiration for her courage and determination. He realized that her innocence was a carefully chosen part of her character, but her true self was far stronger and more capable than anyone could guess. Later, Ethan and Claire walked through the palace gardens. The sunlight reflected off the leaves and stones. Ethan spoke about his impressions of the colony and of Claire. He admitted that he had been mistaken about her innocence. She laughed softly and said that sometimes people need to see what they expect before they can understand the truth. Ethan felt a deep sense of respect and trust. He knew that Claire's leadership had built a safe and strong colony. He also understood that she had hidden depths that he had only begun to explore. Stepping inside her world had changed his perception completely. He now saw a leader, a strategist, and a human capable of incredible strength and intelligence. That night, Ethan returned to his quarters. He reflected on the day and the knowledge he had gained. He felt determined to help the colony and to learn more from Claire. He knew that the days ahead would reveal even greater challenges, but he was ready. He understood that the queen he had first seen as innocent was actually a human of extraordinary power, skill, and vision. The morning air was crisp as Ethan stepped outside his quarters. Claire was already reviewing plans near the main plaza. She waved him over and said there was a situation that needed their attention. Ethan felt a mix of curiosity and readiness. He knew today would test their teamwork. Claire led Ethan to a sector where some equipment had failed. Workers were unsure how to fix it, and tension ran high. Claire calmly assessed the situation and assigned tasks. Ethan followed her lead, working alongside the colony members. Together, they repaired the machinery and restored normal operation. Ethan noticed Claire's ability to balance command and collaboration. She gave clear instructions, but also listened to suggestions. Her respect for others encouraged confidence and focus. Ethan realized that she was not only a strong leader, but also a mentor who inspired people to do their best. After the work was done, Claire took Ethan to a planning room. She explained new projects and upcoming challenges. They reviewed strategies and discussed solutions to potential problems. Ethan contributed ideas, and Claire considered each carefully. He felt included and valued, which deepened his trust in her leadership. As they walked through the palace halls, Claire spoke about the colony's growth and the need for constant vigilance. She told Ethan that being strong meant preparing for any situation and supporting those around you. Ethan reflected on the earlier days when he thought she was only innocent. He now saw that her strength was a combination of intelligence, courage, and compassion. Later, they visited the training hall. Humans practiced with precision, and Claire guided them through exercises. Ethan observed her carefully. She corrected movements, encouraged focus, and demonstrated techniques when needed. Her presence motivated everyone, including Ethan, to give their best. He admired how she combined leadership with skill and care. Claire then invited Ethan to walk through the gardens. Sunlight fell on the paths and stones. She spoke about the importance of balance between work and personal well-being. Ethan realized that her strategy extended beyond systems and machines. It included people, emotions, and trust. She had created a colony where humans could grow, learn, and survive together. Ethan spoke to Claire about his feelings. He admitted he had been wrong to judge her by her appearance. She listened and nodded. She said that understanding a person takes time, and that true strength often hides behind calmness and simplicity. Ethan felt a deeper respect for her and a desire to support her in the colony. As evening came, Ethan returned to his quarters. He reflected on the day and the lessons he had learned. He had seen Claire as a strategist, a leader, and a human of extraordinary capability. Working with her showed him how humans could achieve incredible things. When they worked together with trust and skill, Ethan felt ready for whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that alongside Claire he could face anything and help the colony thrive. The next morning, Ethan woke with determination. He knew today would be important for both him and the colony. Claire met him at the plaza, her eyes calm and focused. She explained that they needed to check a potential threat near the colony's outer perimeter. Ethan felt a mix of excitement and caution as they prepared for the task. Together, they walked to the edge of the colony. The terrain was rough, filled with rocks and sharp minerals. Ethan admired Claire's awareness of every detail around them. She moved confidently, analyzing the land and predicting possible dangers. He realized that her strength was not only in knowledge, but in instinct and experience. They reached a small outpost that monitored the colony's perimeter. Ethan noticed equipment was slightly damaged from previous storms. Claire instructed him on how to inspect and repair the systems. They worked side by side, coordinating smoothly. Ethan felt a sense of teamwork and trust that grew stronger with every action they took together. After the repairs, Claire explained the importance of preparation. She spoke about challenges the colony could face in the future, and how humans needed to remain vigilant. Ethan listened carefully. He had learned a great deal from her leadership, courage, and strategic thinking. He understood that her apparent innocence had been a mask hiding extraordinary ability. As they returned to the colony, Ethan observed the people. They moved with confidence, knowing they were guided by a capable leader. He saw children practicing, workers collaborating, and guards maintaining alertness. Claire had created a balance where everyone contributed to the strength of the community. Ethan admired her vision and ability to lead with both wisdom and care. Later, Claire invited Ethan to the palace garden. Sunlight reflected off the leaves and stones, creating a calm atmosphere. She spoke about trust and respect, explaining how both were essential for leadership and survival. Ethan reflected on the journey so far. He realized he had seen only parts of Claire before. Now he understood her true self, a human capable of intelligence, strength, and compassion. Claire encouraged Ethan to share his thoughts and ideas, spoke about the lessons he had learned, the mistakes he had made in judging her, and the admiration he felt. She listened, nodding, and said that understanding someone fully took time and observation. Ethan felt a strong connection, a mix of respect, trust, and partnership. As evening fell, the colony gathered to celebrate their recent successes. Ethan stood beside Claire, observing the people. He realized how much she had done to protect and guide them. The queen he had thought was innocent was actually a human of extraordinary depth and power. Her intelligence, courage, and care had built a thriving, strong community in the heart of a distant planet. That night, Ethan returned to his quarters with a sense of accomplishment and purpose. He reflected on the days he had spent in the colony. He had learned about leadership, strength, and human capability. He understood that the real story of Claire was far greater than any first impression. She was not just a young woman. She was a queen, a strategist, and a symbol of human potential. Ethan felt ready for the future, knowing he had stepped into a world of extraordinary people and a colony that would thrive under her guidance.